First speaker will be Redy Wilson Lima, a degree in sociology and is a PhD candidate in urban studies at the FCSH-UNL. We'll have to explain that. He is a collaborating researcher at the Center for Studies on Africa, Asia and Latin America at the University of Lisbon and member of the Council for the Development of Social Science Research in Africa and the Portuguese Anthropology Association, and visiting assistant professor at the Higher Institute for Legal and Social Sciences in Cape Verde. Develops ethnographic research in the Cape Verdean context in the fields of urban sociology, sociology of violence and crime, and sociology of youth and social movements.
First, I want to thank you, Toby, Aleida, and Michael for inviting me and give me opportunity to talk about Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, the way you say. My English is very poor, but I go try. Normally, Cape Verde is presented a good student. I example African model of the democracy and good governance. Cape Verde depends for tourism, for the remittance of immigrants and development aids. And in the contest, when you said contest, the social contest in Cape Verde, in Praia, capital, a lot of money circulates daily based on street economy and underground economy, informal and illicit. 43% of the population survive in informal economy sector, but is much more. Officials say that, but in real is much more. It's known that many people in the formal sector have, in the informal sector, experience to adjust their salaries because the salary is low. Around 80% of the city of Praia is considered informal settlement, and 40.9% of the population in urban area lives on house, but it's more. In lockdown, in March 28, 2 months of lockdown, the model of earth circulation, a Eurocentrism model, into stay-at-home policy, was being very punitive and exclusionary for those whose survival depends exclusively on the informal sector. And we have many stigmatization and criminalization of the poor and young people. For example, in Cape Verde, if you infect, normally, the poor, you go to be complex. But if you not poor, a privilege, when you say in Cape Verde, a member of a good family, you stay at home. No problem, you stay at home. But the poor go to the complex. In November 2020, we have municipal election. And in Cape Verde, you say yesterday, in Africa normally, many poor people say, it's better to die for COVID than to hungry. In Cape Verde, politics, it's better to die the COVID than lost the election. Because lost the election, you lost the privileges. And in November, we don't have restricted of electoral campaign. And we have an increase of the infected. And they say they culpabilization the young people, because the young people like the party. But the truth is, we have increase of the infected because the electoral campaign is not restricted. But the narrative is criminalization of the young people. In Cape Verde, we have a political measures. The government implements, in the period of the lockdown, implements a set of measures to provide some protection for the most vulnerable families, such as food assistance and £80. I discovered in London, £80 we pay in the ritual of King Cross. I discovered like that. This is money you give the families for one month, especially for families that are economically dependent of the informal sector. But the truth, most families don't receive. Don't receive because it's discriminate, because it's sensitive of the opposition party. And it was the responsibility of civil society organization headed by the platform NGO to support the executed of these measures implemented for the municipal council. But in that period we have three big problems. First, we estimate 20.5 of poor families will be excluded from food assistance, and 36.7 of children more vulnerable families. Second, many families were not registered in the social service, or the social workers could not identify them on the ground because they never go in the ground. They stay in the office. And the size of the food baskets did not take into account the number of family members. And there have been cases of party political discrimination against families identified with opposition. The part of support the government, central government and municipal government is Movimento para a Democracia, MPD. And most of certain families with sensitive with PAICV simply don't have the basket. And we have the family, the MPD family, we have twice three basket. Because that we are a good student, what I say, but their situation exposes the existence of gaps. But for more significant, expose the relative absence of the state in Cape Verde. Because we have this distance, the people and the government. And the gap in the social protection system and place the community-based organization under pressure from families and community. And then they have mobilized. The social movement solutions was mobilization of the community solidarity movement outside the institutional sphere with a strong presence in media, a focus mostly on Cape Verdean diaspora, because we have a big Cape Verdean diaspora in Europe and United States. And these people remitted money for this association. And for better performance and articulation, they create a network of community association and social movement. The objective of this organization is a better coordination between the community-based organization and state institution. And put right the place of charity. Because they say, we don't need charity. We need rights. And my job in research and activist was help this organization built on one agenda through a collaborative methodology in a context marked by political, institutional, and social colonization. Because normally the party political, this institution, all the ONGs, they colonization this kind of organization, community organization. And when you don't have an agenda, because in Cape Verde, the Cape Verde government don't have agenda. The agenda is European Union, the international agenda. We don't have agenda. And my job is consensual. This organization, you need to build the agenda. And in 2021, we will begin a process of mapping 17 neighborhoods in the city with the aim of knowing and social, economic, urban, and criminological reality, because I study criminality. I study criminality, is important for me study this subject, and based on this local knowledge, working in self-organization of local association and thinking a horizontal model of community governance. It's like the Cabralist idea, unite and strike. We intend to changing the narrative from a new normality, because a new normality is an old normality. It's no new. To other normality. And right now, we're doing that. Right? We're doing with this organization to build this agenda, because we have in the next year elections. We have elections, and the challenge is confront. Because, like people say, the COVID show us the politics don't care about us. The politics don't care about us because they say Cape Verde is a very nice democracy, but historical, we have a huge absence, electoral absence. The young people don't vote because they don't believe. And my job is work then to create a politicization, this association for confront the system. It's polemic, like our research, but in my point of view, we need to compromise. Okay, and thank you.